And we back like we never left. I'm Livezone.
And I'm Mazzi here with you from Livezone Sports. We do want to issue our sincerest apologies to the technical difficulties and graphic errors of the past two videos. We aim to be better than this as a team and a whole. And we promise to you that we will deliver better videos, better quality, and the best that we can moving forward from here on out. And that's just a promise to you.
2023 has been an amazing year with you guys podcasting for the sports world. 2024 is going to be 10 times better, even with the most recent mess ups that we had. So if you stick with us, we promise to deliver and give you the best content that we can.
And again, thank you to everyone who likes and subscribes and shares and watches the videos. We appreciate every single one of you. And if there's anything we can do to bring a better product to you, please let us know any way you can.
Hey, it's me, your favorite editor. Before we start the video, I also want to apologize for the errors in the past videos. We try our best to make sure that everything is covered and reviewed before it's released. Like Livezone and Mazzi said, we have some big things planned for TCN, and we want to make sure that it's the best of the best. And just like Livezone is going to say,
stay tuned.
Now,
let's try this again.
And we back like we never left. I'm Livezone, and as always, I'll let you introduce yourself.
What's up? It's Mazzi back with you another week, repping the bees this week.
Yeah, so as you know, the week of podcasting, the 6th week of the season is Jersey week for Livezone Sports. Here with you, I got Judon on. Who you got on right now?
The one and only, the living legend, Patrice Bergeron, boy.
All right. I like it. So on this Dynamics on the Hardwood, we have a very special one. We're going to be talking about the trade that went down with the Clippers and the 76ers. Do you still think that the 76ers won that trade? And what are you looking at for the LA Clippers right now?
Yeah, so great question. If we're looking short term at the trade, I would have to change my answer and go with the Clippers have won. But this is not a short term thing. We're looking at the long term. And end of the day, do I still feel as though Philadelphia won that trade more than the Clippers? Yes, because I don't think this Clippers team is going to pan out how everybody thinks and how they're playing since the trade. We know that they're playing pretty well since the in-season tournament and have a decent record since the Harden trade. But what is this team going to do with these old players come playoff time when they're gassed, they're not playing up to their full potential? Harden's not playing defense. Russell Westbrook can't buy a shot. You know, they've got 6 players scoring 10 points, averaging 10 points a game right now. Russell Westbrook isn't one of those people. So if Russell Westbrook can get those numbers up and everybody else can maintain, they could be a dangerous team throughout the year. We're still not even at the All-Star break. They're putting their best foot forward right now. Come end of the season, I'm interested to see where they're at, where their players are at, physically, mentally, and as a team. Harden has a way of influencing the locker room very significantly in how he goes about things. So we will have to see how this pans out as a team, but I'm standing firm on I think the Clippers lost this deal because in the long run, for what they're getting, what they're paying, and what they're expecting, I don't think it lines up as nicely as what Philly expected from it, what Philly got from it, and what Philly plans to continue to do in the future. I don't know how you're feeling about this, so I'm going to pass it off to you, and I want to know how you're feeling.
All right, so with me, it's a little different. So I thought that the 76ers were still going to win this trade when I was thinking about it. But when I looked into the numbers don't lie, all right? We're going to go over the points per game right now. Philadelphia has 119.5 in sixth place. And then the LA Clippers are ninth with 117.2 points per game. So, yes, they win that. But then we go over and we look at blocks per game. Philly is sixth with 6.1 blocks per game. And the LA Clippers are 16th with 4.6. This is where it gets a little interesting. Field goal percentage. The Clippers are fifth with 49.1% shooting on a game. All right. Philly is down to 15th with 47.6% per game. Then after that, we go to three-pointers, three-point percentage. Clippers, number 2. They are number 2 in the NBA with 38.9%. And Philly is 17th with 36.6%. So looking at the numbers, it's pretty even. But at the end of the day, it really just comes down to who's hot and who's not right now. And right now, the LA Clippers are on a hot streak like no other team right now, other than really the Indiana Pacers, right? So we have Kawhi Leonard. He's been doing his thing out here. Last game, he had 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals, 1 block. So what I'm seeing in Kawhi Leonard right now is he's kind of being a leader here that we saw in San Antonio and that we saw in Toronto. He doesn't need to go out and get 30 points per game. He just needs to do his part on the defensive side because that's where he anchors right now. And that's exactly what he's doing. On the season, he's averaging 23.8 points, 6 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 1.8 steals. All right, then we look over to Paul George because that is usually what we would call second in command on your team. And last game, he had 25, 7, and 1. So even he's putting up a little bit on the defensive side, having a steal in the game. But that's not his game. That's not Paul George. Paul George is get to the bucket, go get your points, right? Right now, he's averaging 23.2 points, 5 rebounds, and three assists right now. And that's what you need out of Paul George. You don't need Paul George to be that defensive anchor that you have in Kawhi Leonard. You need Paul George to be that clutch shooter that when you need a bucket, you go to that guy. When you need a three-point shot, you go to that guy. When you need to drive and dish out, you go to Paul George. That's what you need out of Paul George, and that's how they're utilizing him right now. Then after that, James Harden. We talk about the system, right? We talked about this throughout the whole trade, saying how I am not going to be put in a system. I am a system. And that's what the LA Clippers have done with James Harden so far. James Harden had 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists, a double-double last game. And on the season, he's averaging 17.4 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 8.4 assists. So as you can see, James Harden is doing his thing. It's not the James Harden that you need on the Houston Rockets where you need James Harden to go score 30, 40 points a game. Nah, a cool 15 is good for this team right now as long as you can go out and get 7 assists. You need to be the point guard of this team and get the ball to the right people at the right time, right? Then we talk about bench players, okay? And this is where it gets interesting. The spark on the bench is the person that should be your starting point guard, Russell Westbrook. And this is why this is working out so much is because Russell Westbrook is your spark on the bench instead of being in the starting lineup where everybody on that starting lineup needs the ball. So right now, last game he got 9 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. That's a productive Russell Westbrook stat line that you need in today's game with Russell Westbrook on your team. He's not the same Russell Westbrook that will go out and get you 20 and 10. He's not going to do this freak show 3-point shootout with, the likes of Kyrie Irving and everything that he used to do. Nah, he's just going to be that spark. He's going to get you assists. He's going to get you a few steals. He's going to get the crowd amped up, and he's going to get a few points. And that's what you need out of Russell Westbrook. And then here comes the guy that everybody is not talking about, and that is Norman Powell. All right, Norman Powell last night, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist on the bench. He's averaging at least 10 points a game off of the bench. He should have been the 6th man last year, but didn't get it. But that's besides the point. He is averaging 13.4 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. So as you can see, the defense is there. The offense is there. How are we looking on the NBA standings right now? All right. Right now in the Western Conference, the Clippers are fourth at 23-13. Now, yes, they got off to a bad start, but they've been on a hot streak ever since they clicked with James Harden as the point guard and with Russell Westbrook on the bench. And then the 76ers are 23-12 in the third spot in the East. So as you can see, this trade benefited both teams and it got them to where they wanted to be. It's just that the players that were traded for James Harden fit the system of the Philadelphia 76ers better. And the players or the player that was traded to the LA Clippers fit the LA Clippers system more. It's just one of those things where both sides work out and it was an even trade. Now, are we going to see both of these teams go far in the playoffs? We don't know. But from what we can tell, it's going to be a great future for both the LA Clippers and the Philadelphia 76ers for going and getting parts that fit their systems.
Absolutely. Clippers and 76ers both rank 6th defense in the league. Tied for 6th. Offensive, they're pretty close. Both top 10 offenses and top 10 defenses. So going to be interesting. Who do you think, if both make the playoffs, go further in the playoffs? And one more question. If they went head to head, who wins?
Oof. Okay. So if they were to go to head in the finals, I say the Clippers win just because the story is there, the narrative is there. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Paul George all get their first ring. Norman Powell, as one of the best sixth man in the league, gets his ring after being underrated. I do think that is the storyline that they would go with. But with that being said, I do think that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to go further. I think that the Western Conference is more packed than the Eastern Conference right now. And I think in the Eastern Conference, you probably have the second, third best player in the Eastern Conference on your team with Joel Embiid. I think if the Celtics don't go to the NBA Finals, and I think if Halliburton does not come back, I see Philly going to the NBA Finals.
Interesting take there. Betting on Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Paul George to win a finals is like dancing with the devil, okay? That's betting on the devil to beat you every time. So I am staying well away from that myself. I don't think that's getting anywhere near a championship, but that's my little take on that. That's Dynamics on the Hardwood for this week. We're going to be hopping over with more segments this week, more videos, good quality. Stay tuned with us, Live Zone.
Yeah, so one thing before we go, if you look up the Consumption Network news channel, we just let out our Chasing the Chaos first episode, and that is with our good pal Eamon or Lebowski. He will be doing that every week, the same way we do the sports show every week. And be tuned for more people to come through because 2024 is going to be better than 2023. And we're going to have more podcasts and more podcasters with us. So
we want to know who we should try to get on the podcast. Leave comments on the podcast on who we should get for Dynamics on the Hardwood and the Extra Point on here. Keep it up to date. Let us know. We want to hear what you want us to do.
And who do you think won the trade? Who do you think is going to go further in the playoffs? Let us know. Let us debate with you. And stay tuned.